Michael again with the interior features video for our 2012 CLS63. Yes, we do have another one. This is probably our 9th or 10th already. We're big fans of the car around here. This is a new interior though. We haven't had an interior of this color combination. It's still the same interior, but I'll walk you through it anyway. So I like to begin down here, center console area. We'll start here with this is the drive mode selector. So you have C for comfort, everyday driving, S for sport, sharpens up throttle response, sharpens up the suspension a little bit. You could use it every day if you wanted. You will see a little drop in gas mileage, but you know, who really cares? Sport Plus, more of a, if you're going to drive it kind of hardcore, if you're doing a track or you're up like in the hills driving around on there, that's kind of the idea there. And then manual lets you take use of these paddles back here for shifting. Leaves all the shifting up to you, but it still has the same suspension settings as Sport and Sport Plus. Now, if you wanted to hand select these options, you can use the AMG button. One click there puts it into full AMG mode, which is the stiffest suspension possible, and your traction control is on. Now, you can select, so your standard comfort, then your Sport, Sport Plus. Sport Plus is the hardest, obviously. It'll give you better handling. Now, press this button once. It's into sport handling mode. Now that's going to give you a little bit of slip, a little bit of leeway, but it's not going to keep you. But it's going to keep you from spinning out. Now, if you hold that button down, you'll get an indication that it says traction control off. Now that's going to give you. It'll give you all the control, so you make sure you know what you're doing before you turn that off. Otherwise, it could end badly. That's why they make you hold it down so you don't accidentally turn it off. One more click, turns back on. All right. Now this selector here is what you'd use to control all of the infotainment system settings. So simply turning it, as you twist it which way you want to go, press it in to select something. Use the options here, back and clear, to kind of navigate. Pretty simple. Kind of move on up here to the HVAC controls. Again, a very simple setup Mercedes has. They use the same setup in pretty much all the cars of this model year. Two big dials, get your buttons there, little display here for you. Put it in auto. As we move on up, several settings here. You have your heated and cooled seats for driver and passenger, as well as you can turn off the parking sensors. You can put it in eco mode. Now, eco mode only works in the comfort setting. That'll turn the engine off if you're at a stoplight or if you're in traffic. But as soon as you press the gas, engine will start back up. This is the button for the rear sunshade. One click, the shade will rise from the bottom. Now, it does obstruct your view a little bit, not too much, but it does give you plenty of shade for the people in the back. I'm going to turn these buttons off because it's giving myself and the cameraman quite an interesting feeling. Hot and cold. Turn those off for now. We'll move on up here. Infotainment system, as I mentioned earlier, you simply use this dial to navigate it. You have your basic stuff, navigation. You can click in to put a destination in. I won't necessarily go through all that. If you guys have any questions about that, feel free to give us a call. We'd be happy to walk you through it. Take a video on our phone to show you, whatever you'd like. Audio, so you can go select here. If you have your phone connected, you can use Bluetooth audio, one of my favorites. No cords, you just wirelessly connect it. All right, we'll come up here, we'll start talking about the steering wheel and then move on to the gauges. Steering wheel, again, another Mercedes staple. All your volume and phone controls are here. Up, down, mute, answer, decline. These buttons here you can use to control this screen here in the middle of the center dial. So right now it's on the AMG, so that way what that does, it'll tell you what gear you're in and what settings your transmission, suspension, and traction control are in. Very helpful if you're driving on track or driving vigorously. Each section here, trip, navi, audio, they all have separate settings within those. So as you select left to right to choose the setting, you go up and down to choose various sub-settings. So right now we have mileage and trip computer. If I press up, you go to a digital readout for your speedometer. Then you can choose range. Then you have other information that you might want to know if you're on a road trip or something like that. So your distance traveled, average miles per gallon, average miles an hour, that kind of stuff. Your navigation, you can get your direction of travel. If you're using the map for navigation, the directions will also appear here. That way you can keep your eyes on the more towards the important stuff instead of looking everywhere. Audio, you can go through your stored settings for your radio. That way you can just click here instead of having to mess with buttons. Just a lot safer that way. Also, telephone, my phone's not connected right now, but if it was, I could show you all that information. Simply just clicking through. You can choose who you want to call, recents, or go through your phone book. Drive assist, this is where you'd find all the systems for monitoring your driving. So you have your attention, your blind spot, your lane keeping. They're all currently on. You can disable them if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it. They're very helpful. Move on up here. We'll talk about the settings for the sunroof and interior lighting. All these buttons here are all interior lighting. So you have your two book lights. This switch will control the sunroof. As you can, I'll close it here for you. So one click back, automatically opens. One click forward, automatically closes the window part, leaves the shade back. Shade is done manually. If you push up on the button, it opens the sunroof just a crack so you can get some air movement. Now, underneath the rear view mirror, we have the buttons for the home link, so you can set your garage settings. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at 816-659-3027 or email us at purepursuitauto.com.